Leader, I want to begin by welcoming yesterday's announcement from the Taoiseach that the North-South Ministerial Council will meet at the end of this month. I think that's a positive and necessary step forward, and I wish them well in their work. I also want to welcome the apology this week issued by the PSNI Chief Constable to investigative journalists Trevor Burney and Barry McCaffrey. Some colleagues may remember that I hosted a briefing with Trevor and Barry, two very respected, experienced and esteemed investigative journalists in the North who did pioneering work and really crucial work with the film No Stone Unturned. In that film, which investigated the massacre at Lough Island in 1994, the journalists exposed quite a stark, albeit to many of us not particularly unsurprising, level of collusion between the British security services and the people who carried out the murderous attack on the people in Lough Island. So the PSNI Chief Constable acknowledged and apologised that, as opposed to the PSNI investigating the evidence that was brought forward by these journalists and to go in pursuit of those responsible for the Lough Island massacre, instead what did they do? They searched the offices and commandeered the evidence gathered by these journalists. So that's a really worrying insight into the issues that still exist around legacy and legacy investigations in the North. I'm quite proud to say that in the last term of this Seanad, in one day, this Seanad put through all of the legislative requirements on this state in regards to the Stormont House agreement. And unfortunately, while you have issues like this coming to the fore, and indeed many other issues around unresolved cases, much hurt and much trauma still out there, the British government haven't moved one iota in relation to implementing Stormont House mechanisms that they agreed to at the Stormont House agreement. So the apology this week was very important, but what must be to the fore of all our minds, and I know it's to the fore of Barry and Trevor's minds, who didn't actually want any of this trauma brought on them, their families, or indeed the trauma on their professional career. But what has to be to the fore of our minds is the people of Lough Island. The victims there are the people who lost their loved ones, the people who, to this day, still, like many families, campaign for truth and justice. And having hosted the families for a screening of the film in Leinster House in the last term, I have to say it was but a further trauma on them that when this so important, so crucial piece of investigative journalism brought further such important evidence to the fore, it was actually the journalists who were arrested. So if we're serious about defending free speech, if we're serious about upholding that as a very fundamental aspect of any democracy, then while not disagreeing with anything that has been said, we should start by looking much closer to home.
Thank you.